Welcome back to How to Barbecue Right. Today I got something I want to share with you. It's kind of a combination of two of my favorite things. The sausage fatty wrapped in bacon. You know, everybody's seen that bacon explosion. And the atomic buffalo turd, those jalapeno peppers stuffed with the cream cheese, wrapped in bacon. I'm going to combine both of those and make one football explosion. The football season's ready to kick off. We've already had a week of college football. Now it's time for the NFL to come in. Let's get started. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get our cream cheese stuffing mixed up. So I've just had a block of cream cheese setting out to come to room temperature so it's soft so I can work with it. I'm gonna put that in a bowl. I've got about 8 ounces of Monterey Jack cheese shredded. And I've got 3 jalapeno peppers that I've diced up. I'm just gonna get to mixing this a little bit, trying to incorporate it with the cream cheese. So after we've got it mixed up a little bit, I'm just gonna add a little bit of seasoning. I'm using Killer Hogs OG rub, the original. We're just gonna get the rub mixed in here. That looks good to me. Now what we're gonna do is we've got some saran wrap, and I'm gonna put it out here on the cutting board. We're gonna get our cream cheese mixture out on this saran wrap. So what we're doing now is we're gonna roll this cream cheese mixture kind of up into a log, and this is gonna help it firm up. I wanna stick it in the refrigerator. Just want to kind of give it some shape because this is what's going to be inside the innermost layer. Our cream cheese mixture is ready to go in the refrigerator. We'll leave that in there 15-20 minutes. Just want it to firm up some. All right, now I've got 2 pounds of breakfast sausage. You can use any kind of sausage. If you want to add ground beef at this point, you can. I like to keep it with just a spicy breakfast sausage. I'm also going to kick it up a little bit with our barbecue rub. And what we want to do is we want to flatten this sausage out. We want to flatten it out enough to where we can put the cream cheese mixture in the center of it and then roll it back up into a log. That's the whole idea. Now I'm going to season the top of it, which will be the inside, with some of the barbecue rub. Use your favorite rub here. So we've got our cream cheese log right on top of our sausage. I'm just going to use the paper to kind of get it rolling and peel it back. You want to wrap the sausage all the way around the cream cheese and make sure you close up the ends good. You want to make sure there's no holes. Make sure it's closed everywhere on the ends. Then you know it, we're going to season the outside with rub. Give it another roll, get that bottom side. All right, so we got 2 pounds of bacon and you probably have some left over. That's okay, but what we want to do is we're going to make a weave out of this bacon, and I'm just laying it down. You want a flat bottom to start with. Then we'll come back and work on our weave pattern. Now we're going to start weaving our pieces, and what we're going to do is we're going to pull every other piece back. We're going to lay a piece down. Now we're going to flip this row up. We'll lay in our next piece of bacon. And you just keep alternating all the way down. So here's our bacon weave. We went 9 pieces by 7 pieces. This should be plenty enough bacon to cover this sausage that we're going to put on here. Now we're ready to set the sausage right on top. So we still got it on our parchment paper. You can just kind of roll it right on top. Set that to the side. The one thing you want to make sure that your bacon has enough room on the edges. You want to be able to cover it completely. Now we can just roll our bacon up. We want it to end seam side down. Fold our ends, make them nice and neat. And that's the football explosion. But you also want to get a little bit seasoned on the outside of this bacon. All right, man, this football explosion looks fantastic already. Now I'm going to go outside, get the smoker fired up. We're going to show you how we're going to cook it. All right, today I'm outside and I've got my drum smoker fired up. I'm running about 300 degrees and it's going to be perfect. You can see I got a little light smoke coming out. That's from a little bit of cherry wood. Now I want to cook it up a little bit higher. That's why I'm choosing 300. If it goes up a little more than that, that's okay too, because I want that bacon to really brown. What we're doing is we're cooking that sausage inside that bacon. We want the bacon to get nice and brown. We want the sausage to get done. So about halfway through, I'll put me a thermometer in just so I can keep an eye on those internal temperatures, because we are going to need to cook it up to at least 165 degrees inside, since we're dealing with ground pork sausage. That's the recommended temperature. And always, you can do this on any smoker you have. Just make sure you can hold these temps. You want it right at that 300 degree mark so that bacon browns up. Let's get the meat on. All right, so I've got our football explosion on one of my pork racks here just to make it easier getting it in and out of the cooker. And I'm just gonna set it right on the grate at the highest temp in this drum. You wanna get the lid back on pretty quick because it'll make your heat temp come up by giving it too much air. So whenever you're cooking on a drum smoker, you wanna be pretty quick. So on my drum here, I'm just wanting to get my exhaust vent about a quarter open and my intakes about a quarter open on each side. That's gonna hold those temps right in that cooking range, 300 degrees that I want. Just maintain your temperature. We're not worried about time right now. We're just gonna cook to an internal temperature. We'll just keep an eye on it. About half an hour, we'll see how that bacon's doing. I'll show you what it looks like here in a minute. All right, it's been about 30 minutes, and I wanna go ahead and start getting the internal temps on this thing so I can watch it. I've got my alarm set for 165 here, and I'm just gonna go about in the middle of it. I don't wanna go too deep, but I wanna see where we're at. Right now, it looks like we're running just about 110. So we still got a ways to go. We're gonna take it off when it gets to 165. I'm not really worried about the time. We're just gonna follow these internal temps. Get your vent set right back, hold it at 300. All right, you can see we're getting up close to temp. It's about 157 internal now, if you can see the thermometer here. This is the perfect point where I'm wanting to glaze. If you put the sauce on or glaze, whatever you're using, too soon it's gonna burn, but since we're getting right towards the end, we've probably got about 15 more minutes. It's gonna be at 165 where I want it. The glaze is gonna be perfect. So I'm just gonna take the lid off. Got some great color going on already. I've got some warm sauce here. I'll tell you what, these little ramblers, they don't just keep ice a long time, they'll keep sauce warm for a long time too. So if you're warming up sauce, you can use them for that. That looks good. We don't have any bust anywhere. The lid back on. I'll set the vents back right where I had them. We're good to go. I'm just gonna watch this temperature. Once it gets to 165 on the chef alarm, we'll double check it. That's gonna be it. It'll be time to rest it for a little while. Then we get to eat this football explosion. All right, the chef alarm is going off. In fact, it's done creeped up just a couple degrees here. It's like setting 168. But I always wanna verify. That's why I just use a thermal pop. I'm just gonna stick it in, make sure it's feeling the same. Oh yeah, it's even higher on the end, 170, 167. We're bingo. We're right there. So I'm calling this football explosion done. Check that out, man. That looks good enough to eat. And if you don't think that's gonna be good to serve on a football party, I don't know what is. Let's take it inside so we can rest a few minutes before we cut it up. So we've been resting about 20 minutes here on the cutting board. I took it off that pork rack. We got this football explosion just sitting here waiting to be cut. Before I do, let's just talk real quickly what we did. We took just a block of cream cheese, 3 jalapeno peppers diced up, and an 8-ounce package of shredded Monterey Jack cheese. We mixed all that cream cheese up, seasoned it with a little rub, formed it into that log shape using that plastic wrap, put it in the refrigerator. Just gave it about 15 minutes while we got the sausage spread out. We used a little bit of parchment paper, flattened the sausage out, put the cream cheese in the middle, rolled it up into a log. Then we made our bacon weave, put the log of sausage and cream cheese on that, rolled it up, smoked it right at 300 degrees with a little cherry wood out there on the drum. It took about an hour and a half total. After 30 minutes, we put an internal thermometer in it so we could watch it. We were taking it up to 165. When it hit about 10 degrees before final temperature, that's when I put that warm sauce on it. That was just straight Killer Hogs barbecue sauce. We let it glaze on, caramelize down a little bit for those last few degrees. Then we brought it off and let it rest. Now we can cut into it. So I'm just using a roast carving knife here. I'm just gonna start and cut a few slices so you can see what it looks like. Cut them as thick and thin as you like. This looks right to me. Open it up, we can see this cheese in here. Ooh, that looks good. Bacon, bacon wants to come off. Cheese is perfectly melted, but stayed in place because we use that cream cheese. I'm gonna get me a bite off this end here. It's got some bacon, some cheese, and all of it. See what we're working with. That's a football food right there. Sausage comes through, but you got the bacon on the outside. Spice from those fresh jalapenos with that cream cheese. It's just like a jalapeno popper. Hey, this is one explosion that you've got to try. Promise you, it's worth the time and the effort. Didn't take that long. And the bacon makes that. Hey, if you like what we're doing here at HowToBBQRight, subscribe to our channel. Now that it's football season, you know I'm gonna throw some more football videos in. We're gonna have videos all year long. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Come back and see us. I gotta get back on this, it's delicious.